Hello and welcome. My name is Hostname, and as a specialist in hotel AI and performance, I'm thrilled to be welcoming all of you from the Europe Hotel School to this online learning journey. If you're studying hospitality right now, you're stepping into an industry that is transforming at an incredible pace. What we're going to do here is give you a roadmap to the single biggest driver of that change, and that is data.
For decades, success in this industry really came down to experience, to intuition, a gut feeling for the market. But the landscape has completely shifted. Today, the most successful hotels, the ones leading the pack, operate on a totally new principle. Every single decision, whether it's pricing a room or engaging with a major corporate client, is backed up by clear, solid data. So let's unpack what that really means.
So here's our game plan. We're going to tackle this in 5 key parts. We'll start with why data gives you a brand new competitive edge. Then we'll look at where all this powerful insight actually comes from. After that, we'll get practical and see how you put data into action, check out the tools that make it happen, and finally, we'll talk about the most crucial part, building a culture that truly puts data first.
Okay, first up, the new competitive edge. To really get this, you have to stop thinking about data as just a bunch of numbers in a spreadsheet. In today's hospitality world, it's not some optional extra anymore. It is the very foundation of every smart move a hotel makes.
I want you to think of data as the literal backbone of your sales organization. It's that central system holding everything together, connecting all the parts. And with a strong data backbone, you're no longer just guessing. You can pinpoint your most profitable opportunities with precision, you can tailor every client conversation for maximum impact, and you get everyone on the same page, driving toward that one big goal, maximizing revenue.
So if data is the backbone, that begs the question, right? Where does it actually come from? And that brings us to our second section, the anatomy of hotel data. Because these game-changing insights don't just appear out of nowhere. They're being generated every single second by the daily pulse of your hotel.
And here's the thing. The key sources are probably systems you already know. Your CRM. That tells the story of every client relationship. Your property management system, or PMS. That's the operational heartbeat, right? It's tracking occupancy, revenue, everything. Guest reviews give you a direct line into what your customers are really thinking. And, of course, your marketing and financial records tell you what's working and what's just wasting money. Each one is a vital piece of the puzzle.
But here's where the real magic happens. It's when you bring all those streams together. On their own, they're useful for sure. But when you integrate them, that's when you get a complete, holistic view of the entire business. You can finally see the clear line connecting your marketing dollars to actual bookings, or how guest satisfaction scores directly impact repeat business. This is what strategic decision-making looks like.
All right, this brings us to the core of it all, putting that data into action. This is where we stop talking theory and start seeing how all this information gets turned into real, tangible results that drive revenue with incredible precision.
So, the primary goal here is to use data to focus your energy where it counts the most. It's about identifying and really understanding your most valuable accounts, crafting personalized offers that feel like they were made just for them, and then fine-tuning your entire sales process to be as efficient as possible. Think about your sales process like this conversion funnel. Data basically shines a spotlight on every single stage. You start by tracking where all your leads are coming from. Then you analyze the conversion rates from one step to the next, and that immediately shows you where the bottlenecks are, the exact spot where potential clients are dropping off. Once you know the problem, you can build a targeted, data-informed solution to fix it.
And that leads right into the power of personalization. Let's make this real. Instead of some generic sales pitch, imagine using a client's booking history to predict what they'll need next. So a consulting firm that always books your meeting rooms suddenly gets a proactive offer from you, one that bundles catering and priority access to your best spaces. See? You're not just selling anymore, you're showing them you get their business. And that builds incredible loyalty.
Now, of course, doing all of this by hand would be impossible. Which brings us to our fourth section, the Modern Analytics Toolkit. We're going to look at the technology that makes all this data easy to access and, more importantly, easy to act on.
Let's be honest, the days of staring at giant, complicated spreadsheets are over. The number one tool in the modern hotel is the interactive dashboard. Its entire job is something called data visualization, which is just a fancy way of saying it turns millions of data points into simple, clear graphs and charts that anyone can understand in a second. This is what makes real-time decisions possible. For example,
A simple bar chart like this on a dashboard can instantly tell you which of your client segments is bringing in the most revenue. Just a quick glance, and you know exactly where your team should be focusing its energy. Are the big multinational corporations your bread and butter, or is it actually the smaller businesses that are driving consistent growth? The data gives you the answer, clear as day.
And now we can get into the really cool stuff, like predictive modeling. This is where artificial intelligence, or AI, really enters the picture. By analyzing all of your past data, AI models can start to forecast what's going to happen in the future. They can predict demand, calculate the odds of a lead turning into a sale, or even flag the perfect time for an upsell opportunity. And here's a perfect practical example of that in action. Instead of having your sales team treat every single lead the same, an AI model can actually score them based on how likely they are to book. This is a game changer. It allows your team to stop wasting time on dead ends and instead focus all their effort on the opportunities that have the highest chance of success. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Which brings us to our final and maybe the most important section. Because you can have the best tools in the world, but they're useless without the right mindset. Building a data-first culture is about weaving analytics into the very DNA of your hotel. It's about more than just the numbers.
So let's ask ourselves a really important question here. How does this intense focus on data transform not just a single department, but the entire team, the entire organization? Well, the impact is way bigger than you might think. A data-first culture fundamentally changes how people work together. Suddenly, the walls between departments just disappear because everyone from sales to housekeeping is looking at the same information. It encourages this constant cycle of improvement. It drives real innovation because you're designing services based on what guests actually want. And it creates this sense of team-wide accountability because the results are right there for everyone to see.
And when you put all that together, the ultimate result is an organization that's agile, adaptive, and proactive. You stop just reacting to what the market does. You start to anticipate it. You become a hotel that can pivot quickly, respond to new trends, and meet your clients' needs before they even ask. That's how you secure your place in the future.
So as you move forward in your studies and into your careers, please remember this. Mastering data and analytics isn't just another technical skill anymore. It is a core leadership competency. It's what will give you the insight, the vision, and the confidence to not just succeed, but to truly thrive. So I'll leave you with one final question. In this rapidly changing industry, will you be reacting to the future, or will you be the one building it with data? The choice is yours. We wish you the very best on your journey.